Good afternoon, everyone. Gabe Velazquez here with you, transparenttrading-solutions.com. Today is Tuesday, the 18th, tax day. Happy tax day. Of course, that an oxymoron, right? Anybody told you it's happy tax day? Anyways, right? In any event, let's get started. First of all, let me review. How you doing, JT? Let me review some of the trades we're in, as I like to do at the outset here. So I think I mentioned we were in gold. We got back into gold again, right? Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah, that thing is coiling up like JT. When's the last time you saw the Nasdaq in like a 50-point range? It's setting up for it's like a tight coil ready to pop. That's crazy the way the volatility's dried up, huh? Yeah, that's interesting. If you look at the Nasdaq, the way it closed down, man, yep. It's that just suggests that we're ready for a massive pop on that thing. In fact, I've got some trades set up in that regards. Yep. So in any event, yeah, we went back into I think I mentioned on Friday, we were short euro. That's working still nicely. We actually did get back into gold right at 2000. Actually, 2000.10 was our new entry. Almost kind of a range trade. So we are back in gold. We're up about 17 points on that. And still working. Euro still working. We got in at that 1.1080 was our entry on the euro. Also long nat gas using Boyle options. We're actually up nicely on that as well. And what else? We're trying, we're long TLT. We're underwater on that. And we're trying to get long now corn, trying to get long oil, and what else? I think that kind of sums it up. I got some trades actually I'm going to put out tonight as well. So if you are interested, again, you can join me for free for 5 days, kind of, more or less just go through the charts with me in the morning and pick out some trades that I'm, not that I talk about and so forth. So, and I got a promo working as well right now, and I'm going to do a class coming up. So I got all this stuff. All right. Okay. Let's get into not a lot of, since we were here Friday, you guys know that the markets has just been kind of chopping around here back and forth. Same levels look like again this morning we were going to break out. We actually hit, remember I'm talking about 4,100. The high this morning was what, 41.98. So still can't break out. I do believe, I wrote over the weekend, I think we're going to bust out of these ranges in the next couple of days. What's going to cause it, I don't know. And even today, with the tight ranges, they're getting more and more compressed. Generally, that means that we're probably ready for a move. In which direction? I don't know. But everybody, you may think that it's going to go higher because of the preceding, the leading up to it, but that's not always the case. We actually could fall back down. The VIX is sitting almost at 17 right now. That doesn't mean the market can't go any higher, but the complacency is off the charts right now. So maybe, generally speaking, when you get these kind of calm markets, VIX, in the low 16. Now, we've had the VIX down in the 10s back in the 90s. I don't know if I've been doing this for a long time, but yeah, if you check out your VIX chart back in the 90s, we actually came all the way down to 10. So could the VIX keep going down? Absolutely. There's no question about it. But all in all, very tight ranges. Again, 4,200, very simple. 4,200, 4,100 on the S&P. again, it looked this morning like we were going to break to the upside, and sure enough, came right back down. So we'll see what happens. We had Netflix earnings this afternoon. Nothing going on there. Kind of all over the place. NASDAQ also similarly. NASDAQ cannot get above, that prior high, which is roughly around 13,355. And so, and then on the low end, we've got 13,950. I'm sorry, 12,950, kind of hovering at the top end of this range. Again, what's going to get us to break out? We don't have any earnings in mega cap earnings, or, we had Netflix tonight. That looks like it's kind of all over the place, and looks like it's net not changing a whole lot. We got Tesla tomorrow after the close. And then next week are the biggies. We got some of the mega caps coming out next week. So we'll talk about that later. Okay. But other than that, really the averages, not anything that we haven't talked about. Looks like Dow 13,500 is the top end of the range. 1825 on the Russell. That's it, pretty much. Volatility really compressed, which means something's afoot here. Something's probably going to crack this thing wide open. What it is, nobody knows. But anyways, that's where we're at. I would just look for some breakout style trading is really, I think, what's going to work here. Okay. So, we got some levels up top. If we do break to the upside, NASDAQ, the S&P, and then I'm actually more interested in the Russell that has got some really good looking levels up higher. But again, first things first, we got to break out, or else it means nothing, right? Bonds similarly, big wide ranges. The 30-year in particular hanging right at the bottom end of the very clearly. If you look at your charts of the 30-year, you can see 129, very clear, distinct support. We bounced off that already. This will be like the fourth time. So we'll see if that also breaks at some point. That's the cleanest level really on the 30-year. You can, if you're pulling up your charts right now, which you should be looking at the charts with me, 129, very, very clear-cut level there. Whether we break down through that coming days, we'll see how that goes. Not as clear on the 10-year and the 5-year. I would say 114 is the first level. We did bounce off that, but it's not as clear because we got some pivots and so forth down below. So that's pretty much sums it up. I mean, so, generally speaking, just the same big whippy ranges. The only difference now is the bond market is, rates have been coming up. Bond prices have been coming down. We don't have any economic news really. Maybe the jobless claim number perhaps could move the markets a little bit. Next week we've got the PCE, which is going to be another big mover. But other than that, really nothing really to move the markets around. But you never know. Again, just when you kind of say, well, there's nothing to move the markets, something comes up, and remember the banking crisis that came out of the blue, right? So who knows? Anyways, okay. A dollar again. Dollar, we did pick off that bottom with the euro. It seems like maybe it's a double bottom right around that 108.33. So remember, we shorted the euro right as it was coming down into that level. Had a nice pop. We're sitting at 102. And, obviously, we'll see if we can break through 102 and get the dollar back up to 104. My target on the euro is about where the dollar gets up to 103.50. So we'll see. We are at a little bit of a drop-based drop level. If you guys look at your 8-hour chart, 102.068, 102.31. And we did pull back from that. We'll see how that goes. That will impact gold. If the dollar pulls back hard and retests and maybe even breaks the low, the gold is probably going to make a new high, right? So we are long again. We are long gold. We took another long in gold after we got out. Remember, our initial trade was at 2001.10. We got out at 2057. Took profits. That was obviously a good call. I actually had some people short. People were asking me, could you short silver or gold? That was a good trade too. We didn't do that. We actually took profits on gold and then went short almost simultaneously. Went short the EC, right? And now we're kind of middle of nowhere here, kind of no man's land. First, obviously 103, and then 103.50 is going to be the big resistance on the dollar. So we'll see what happens there. On the other currencies, not a lot going on really. Similarly, just chopping around. Even the peso, which is something I've been kind of talking about, that seems to be also just meandering here, kind of chopping around. So just focusing on the euro and gold and silver right now, because the rest of the currencies really aren't giving us a ton of opportunities. I'm literally just using the euro. We've been pretty darn good at picking tops and bottoms on the dollar index, the DXY. So I'm using the euro kind of as a proxy for that, because obviously it's got a very nice corollary, 90 some odd percent correlation, inverse correlation. So, okay. And then nothing really. Copper, just again, it's a mess. Nothing really to talk about there. Crude oil, 79.60. If you look at your charts, we've been literally just consolidating here after that it's been almost 2 weeks now since the OPEC gap up. It seems to me like it does want to come in and fill that gap. So we are going to try to buy that on the pullback here. It's got to break 79.50. We are in a rollover, by the way. We're in June contract, in case you're wondering, on the on oil. Okay, so make sure you're doing the June contract that is rolling over. And then, as I mentioned, we're long nat gas. That's also working very nicely. Caught that right on the bottom there. Not with futures, because but we did buy the calls as literally we're hitting the low at $2. We bought the Boyle calls, and that thing is right on the highs. So it looks like we got about 250 is the first major. There's actually some really nice distribution levels coming up, some supply coming up on nat gas for futures traders. That, in fact, we may give that, we like to trade around our longer term positions. So I would have no qualms about shorting nat gas, even though we're long Boyle with calls around the 250, 254 area. Trader, you know what I mean by trading in the futures on a short-term basis, and then just holding on to our long-term position on Boyle. So that's working, and you see nat gas clearly now is broken out solid. We had a really nice close today. Looks like it's probably got pretty good shot at 250. If you're looking at that chart, in fact, we closed right near the high, so that's looking pretty good for us. And then lastly, grains, corn, we're trying to get long on a pullback. So that order is sitting for us right now. Soybeans, looks like soybeans got resistance at 1550. Nothing really. I want to buy a pullback in soybeans as well. And then wheat, just kind of range trading between let's call it 660 and about 725. Pretty cut and dry on that as well, if you look at your wheat chart. And then the meal also has a really nice level at 473.50. If you guys have ever traded the soy meal, that's a nice little contract as well. But other than that, really, everybody, just, I can sit here and blab a bunch of stuff, but, literally bonds and stocks, just same range trading, same levels. If you want to trade inside those ranges, you can, of course, but there's not a whole lot. Again, I think we're ready for a break. We're ready to get out of these ranges. I would say, the premise here is that markets never stay stationary for any extended period of time. They're made to move by design. Nobody makes any money if the market just stays sideways, right? So, um, and now that we've been in this range for almost 2 weeks, I think that's really the deal here on the bonds too. By the way, bonds are at the lower end of their range, and stocks are at the top end of their range. So we'll see what gives there. And then dollars all over the place, but still having some really nice movement. And then nat gas was the other market. Other than that, really, just watch and wait, and maybe do some breakout trading outside of these ranges when we get out of here. But that's pretty much it, everybody. Again, I'm going to have a class coming up. If you want to sign up for the newsletter, I want to grow the channel. Put some comments on the bottom. Give me some thumbs up. Tell people that I'm here, and so on and so forth, so we can get more audience and so forth. Other than that, everybody have a great rest of your week. Hopefully things pick up. But again, go find other markets to look at. I mean, we've got other stuff that we're looking at too. And that type of thing. Hey, Kelly, how you doing? Did you get long gold on the second gold trade? So you're short. Yeah, okay, good. So you're short euro and long gold, right? Again, that's good. And then we're trying to get some other stuff going too as well. Yep. All right. Okay, everybody, have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week. I'll see you on Friday, and we'll go from there. Okay. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great night.